seeing going around social media right now, and that is the I Stand With a Black Woman movement. And I think this movement is so needed because us as Black women are experiencing so much disparity right now. It's at an all times high. We knew these things happen, but I feel like it is at an all times high. And it's influxed everywhere. And I feel like we as Black women are one of the groups that are unprotected, and that is so disgusting to me because we as Black women nurture so many different things and are precious, so we're seeing it at jobs, we're seeing it at schools, we're seeing it in dating, we're seeing it in doctor offices. We go to school 4 years, 6 years, and sometimes even 10 years to get our education. We go into these jobs. We're still not getting fair wages. We still are dealing with microaggressions daily on the job. You kind of are put in a situation where you have to put up with different things that you shouldn't have to at work just because you need a job. And we as Black women are one of the groups that statistically are the most educated. We're the most likely to go to college, and so on and so forth. And I'm not saying that to say that a degree guarantees you a job, but I'm saying that to say that we're qualified, and 9 times out of 10 we're overly qualified, and still it isn't given our flowers. We still aren't given the things that we deserve, in life, in many areas. And I myself even went out to the store the other day and experienced being discriminated against on 3 different occasions in one trip to the store. And I just sat back and I thought to myself, like, we go to school, we work our behinds off. 9 times out of 10 we have to work harder than the next person, and we move into these better neighborhoods or nicer neighborhoods to obtain the things that you deserve, right? We deserve to live a luxury lifestyle. We deserve for our children to be open to more resources and exposed to more resources that can help better set them up for the future. But with a lot of things that happen, and I think a lot of times people don't tell people, once you move and elevate your life into that lifestyle, you still are going to be met with, this, just because we see people out here living their best life. They driving certain cars, they living in certain houses, they living in certain neighborhoods. It does not exempt you from experiencing this. And if anything, we typically experience it at a higher value because we're in areas where they feel like we don't belong. And we absolutely do belong. We work just like everybody else. We put in the overtime. We have families that deserve those things. And it is just absolutely disgusting to see some of the things that are occurring right now. And even when we look at the aspect of schools, it's like, okay, you got your son or your daughter going into a better school, but you have to worry about, is your kid going to be given the same opportunities as the next kid? Are they going to be treated different? Are they going to receive the same level of education as someone else that looks different than them? And that's something to consider as well. And I just think that to see this going on, and talking to some of the younger ladies that I mentor, and they're growing up in this, it's hard. It is very hard. And if you are not mentally and emotionally strong enough to stand your ground and know your truth, despite of the opinions that's going on in society right now, it's going to tear you up. I myself have gone to school and got 3 degrees. I've lived a basic life, I've lived a progressive life, I've also lived a luxury life. And I've lived and have been blessed enough to be able to live in multiple states and experience, that in itself is a blessing. And, it don't exempt me from experiencing the things that the next person, is experiencing right now in society. But I said it to say, like, we should give anybody their flowers. I feel like women need to learn how to stick together, especially in a time like this. Even in dating, don't buy into this mess. It's, everybody's going around saying this race is better and that race is better and we rather date this. Preference is one thing, but to outright be distasteful towards a particular group is crazy to me. It speaks to maturity level, that those things should be based off of your personality and compatibility and not what you look like. And we also as women have to even take in consideration how we have to train our children when they run into these things and they experience these things in life. How do you handle it? How do you strategically navigate those situations so that they don't escalate? How did you strategically navigate when you're in an area where you feel that you're not welcome as a Black person? And that right there within itself hits hard because we work so hard. And I think the only way to kind of beat that is to build legacy. That's what's going to open doors. And I think that's going to be very important for anybody, whether you're married or not, is build legacy. It won't stop, things that we know have been going on since the beginning of time here. But it'll give them a better shot of not having to experience so much disparity in the climb that we're experiencing right now in life as Black women. But I say that to say, like, when I tell just the girls that I mentor, walk in your truth, because whatever God got for you, nobody can get in that slot. Nobody can change it. Nobody can stop that. It ain't gonna be for Jane Doe. It ain't gonna be for Joe. It's gonna be for you. And it's very, very, very important that you continue to educate yourself, gain skills, always have a backup plan, always put yourself in a position to continue to progress, regardless of what society views are right now. And that takes you being mentally strong and able to control your emotions and having a progressive mindset. And that's my word of advice. But I definitely 100% stand with Black women, baby, because we wear 11,000 hats and experience a lot that we shouldn't experience. And we absolutely deserve to live the luxury life, especially if we've worked for it. We absolutely love and deserve to experience a pure form of love. We actually absolutely deserve to be compensated for our skills and education, just like anyone else. And I say that to say, you deserve to live your soft life and your best life too, boo. And I'm rocking right here with you, because what they doing ain't gonna stop me from sitting in seats and rooms that they feel like I shouldn't be in, because I know I work to be in those seats. I work to progress higher than them seats. So don't let nobody play you up at your spot or your blessing, period. And you and your family deserve the best. So don't let these folks out here talking crap stop your grind and your hustle. Baby, put that crown back on and don't let them tilt that crown. And keep in mind, things change. Just like everything trends and history repeats itself and so on and so forth. Things change. And know that there are going to be doors that open that's going to change your situation. It's going to change your environment. I think a lot of us are stuck on like elevation. Yes, we definitely want to be on the wave of elevation. But right now, this day and time, you better make sure you elevate that faith. That's what really needs to be elevated, that faith. You know, faith is a thing that can take you far. And the reason why I don't let nobody play me about them spots, because I know God allowed me to be in these spots. He stood with me through the climb. He stood with me through the hard work, the late nights. So, you know I've worked to be there. I've gotten my degrees. I've gained the skill. I've put in the work of being, a good person and giving back. I put in the work to make sure, I'm putting out what I'm looking to receive. So don't let nobody ever tell you you don't deserve the best, because you do. And, I feel the same way. Like, I deserve the best, and that's what I'm going to get. And if anything less than what I deserve, baby, you got to exit. So keep your head up, keep your faith up, and most of all, trust God going to be with you. Bye, ladies.